What is up, budget billers? My name is Trail, and Congress has just passed another bill. Now that bill is going to be sent over to President Biden for his signature, and hopefully Biden has enough time to actually sign it over the weekend. Currently, President Biden is a little bit busy as he is dealing with the Russian attack on Ukraine that could happen any day now. Also, the Democrats introduced a new fourth stimulus package bill as they continue to find ways around the previous $2 trillion social spending bill. The Democrats have a short time in trying to get another bill on the table to get it passed before the midterm elections in November. However, they continue to face huge opposition from the GOP, who continue to make it harder for anything to get passed without the support of Senator Joe Manchin. But anyways, guys, hey, if you're interested in any of these topics today and you want to be a part of this channel, be so kind and go ahead and subscribe to it. It's totally free. And if you end up liking today's video, then go ahead and hit that like button for us. It really helps out this channel. Now, let's go ahead and start with the video. Alright guys, before we get started, I would like for you to go ahead and support me on my new YouTube channel that will be launching sometime very soon. Now it's called Budget Bill Finance, and I'm going to be talking about things like growing your wealth over the age of 40, how to invest in stocks over the age of 40, as well as how to buy real estate. And I'm going to be showing you guys exactly what I've been doing as well as how I've been doing it. So if you want to be a part of that channel, be so kind and go ahead and subscribe to it today. I hope to see you guys there. Now also, don't forget to follow me on my Instagram page because I'm starting to post new content every single day. But anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys as usual, but both of those links will be down below in the description. Well, guys, the heat continues to heat up over in Russia as well as the Ukraine. Biden has warned the American people that Russia could attack the Ukraine within days. Joe Biden says that there was every indication that Russia was prepared to attack Ukraine as NATO warns Moscow may be trying to stage a pretext for an invasion, which we've actually saw that a couple of days ago because Russia had stated that the Ukraine fired a missile at them and they were ready to attack right now. And then come to find out that information was fabricated by the Russians. But yes, guys, Biden has said that we have every reason to believe that they are engaged in false flag operation to have an excuse to go into Ukraine. Every indication that we have is that they are prepared to go into Ukraine and attack Ukraine, Biden said at the White House. He said that my sense is that it will happen in the next several days. So again, guys, this is definitely not a good thing to hear, especially knowing that the Russians sent over an additional 7,000 troops on Wednesday this week. So they are in no way as far as pulling back from all of this happening. So now they have close to 140,000 troops from Russia ready to attack on Ukraine. So what does this mean for us in the United States? Well, we could see gas prices hitting around $120 a barrel if Russia actually invades Ukraine. Now, according to a veteran strategist, yes, he said that oil will certainly hit $120 a barrel, as well as the global economy will be radically altered if Russia actually invades Ukraine. Now, Moscow has denied that it actually plans to invade neighboring Ukraine, but has moved around 137,000 soldiers, as well as tanks, missiles, and even fresh blood supplies to the border. The Kremlin is demanding that the Ukraine never be permitted to become a member of the NATO military alliance, and has also said that it wants the organization to roll back its presence in Eastern Europe. So yes, guys, if that happens, we could see these oil prices go from the current price of around $90 per barrel up to $120 a barrel. So what exactly does this mean for the United States exactly? Well, for you and I, this could mean that we could see gas prices around the $7 per gallon mark. Yes, that is possibility. Now, I will say that California would be the first ones to actually get to that level, considering they are already at around $5.50 per gallon. But other places around the country, they could very well see $5 and $6 here pretty soon. And it looks pretty imminent that the Russians do plan on attacking Ukraine sometime within the next 5 days or so. But I will continue to keep you guys posted as usual. But in regards to gas prices, guys, hey, the Democrats are now weighing this new gas tax holiday, as well as some deficit cuts as inflation continues to rise. Now, the Democrats are looking to revamp their legislative agenda to focus on relief for the rising prices before the November midterm elections. Yes, while trying to also salvage some of the large $2 trillion social spending bill that ended up being nixed by Senator Joe Manchin. Now, the White House and congressional Democrats are concerned about the rapid rising prices across the nation that could sour voters ahead of the midterm elections, as well as they are trying to discuss temporarily suspending the federal gas tax, as well as trying to revamp some of the domestic policy packages that are included in the previous social spending package. Now, the discussions so far are aimed at addressing the widespread economic anxiety, as well as salvaging some of President Biden's sprawling social safety net bill, as well as the climate and tax increase bill, which is also known as the Build Back Better Bill Act. But members of Congress continue to worry about those voters in the November elections. Yes, during a private party lunch back on Tuesday, the Democrats circled around the idea of several pieces of legislation that are going to help reduce costs on foods as well as other essentials, according to senators and aides that were briefed on this private discussion. Now, in those discussions, they were talking about several provisions that were from the Build Back Better bill, as well as they also talked about suspending this gas tax, which is around 18.4 cents per gallon. They want to suspend that particular gas tax through January 1st of 2023. Now, Senator Chuck Schumer said that we're going to focus like a laser on reducing costs, as well as some of the new proposals and new ideas that are coming forward. Now, he also said that we're going to propose legislation and we're going to move forward and we're going to go back to our states and start talking about these things once again. Now, the last time that they have talked about these particular provisions was when they were trying to get people involved with passing and getting their support for the Build Back Better agenda. But since then, they tried to get that bill passed in late December, but Senator Joe Manchin was still not having it. So he continued to stay in opposition towards that bill, in which that bill was unable to pass in the Senate. So here we are, guys. Senator Joe Manchin has already stated that that bill, Build Back Better agenda bill, is actually dead as far as he is concerned. He said if the Democrats want to get his support on any future piece of legislation, they are going to have to create a new bill altogether. And that is exactly what the Democrats are working on right now. So far, they have already talked about suspending this gas tax as a way to prevent and keep some of these gas prices from increasing to these prices that I just talked about, going around the $7 per gallon mark. But they have also recently just reintroduced a new bill earlier this week, in which the Senate just introduced this new COVID-19 bill. Yes, according to this article, guys, it says that the White House is seeking another $30 billion for a COVID battle. Now, the White House press secretary, Jen Psaki, addressed the need for more money at her news briefing earlier this week on Tuesday, saying that the Biden administration is telling Congress that it needs an additional $30 billion to press ahead with the fight against COVID-19. Now, two people familiar with the administration's plan confirmed these key details that were mentioned on Tuesday. Now, that is $17.9 billion is going to be for vaccines and treatments. $4.9 billion is going to be for testing. $3 billion is going to cover the coronavirus care for uninsured people. $3.7 billion is going to be used to prepare for future variants. And we know, guys, we are expected to receive some future variants coming later this year, as well as they also spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss deliberations between the administration and lawmakers over the supplemental funding that they are requesting in around $30 billion. Now, Republican Senator Roy Blunt of Missouri told reporters that he has spoken with the Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Becerra, and that he said that I think that they are going to be proposing a $30 billion supplemental bill. Now, the White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki addressed the need for more money without specifying the actual amount that they are actually seeking. But she says that while we continue to have sufficient funds to respond to the current Omicron surge in the coming weeks, our goal has always been to ensure that we are well prepared to stay ahead of the virus. Now, according to a nonpartisan committee for the responsible federal budget, Congress has already approved of around $5.8 trillion to battle the pandemic in a series of major bills spanning from former President Donald Trump as well as all the way through the current President Joe Biden, as well as their administrations. And she said that that's not counting actions by the Federal Reserve to help keep the economy going through all of this process. But again, guys, Psaki said that most of the money from President Joe Biden's 2021 Corona relief bill has already been spent or actually allocated to some form. But with 90% going to such priorities as vaccines, testing, and support for schools. But so far it's unclear how the new request of $30 billion for supplemental funding will fare in Congress. Republicans would like to see more money for COVID relief for businesses that are still struggling during this pandemic, while the Democratic progressives want a major effort to vaccinate the rest of the world. Which I will say that, hey, we are almost over this complete pandemic, guys, and we are starting to see more states and cities starting to remove their mask mandates. So again, guys, this thing is looking like it is almost over. And we actually heard from Dr. Anthony Fauci, in which he said that it is pretty much the time in which we are starting to move into the endemic stage, which means that we are at the tail end of this, which means people are still going to get infected positive with the COVID-19, but it will be a very small number of people and individuals. So I don't know exactly why the Democrats would be asking for more stimulus relief aid to fight the pandemic as well as the COVID-19 and getting people vaccinated. I mean, we're going to keep our fingers crossed in the meantime, guys, but it does look like we are at the tail end of the coronavirus in this country. But again, we just don't know, guys. But anyways, like I said, guys, this is just one piece of the new stimulus bill that the Democrats are proposing right now. We should start seeing more bills being introduced by the Democrats because they are still trying to salvage several provisions that were included in the Build Back Better agenda bill. So again, guys, we are sure to see more stimulus bills coming forward, and I hope to be able to provide more details around those future stimulus bills that are being proposed in Congress right now. But also in Congress right now, guys, hey, the government was just able to pass another bill. Now, this bill was just passed by the Senate, which is going to prevent another government shutdown. I know you guys have heard this story several times before, and that is actually true, guys, because this is like the third or fourth time in which Congress had to sign and pass another bill which is going to prevent another government shutdown. And we are sure to see another bill coming up within the next 3 weeks or so. And that is because this particular bill that has just been passed by the Senate and is now being sent over to President Biden for his signature, this is only going to keep the government open for another 3 weeks. So again, guys, we are just kicking the can down the road once again. But ultimately, the Democrats as well as Congress are still working on a longer term bill to be able to pass, to be able to provide more money to keep the government open through September of this year. But so far, they are continuously being able to pass these short-term bills in the meantime. So what does this mean, guys? Hey, it does mean some good news because the government will continue to stay open. The Senate has passed a short-term government funding bill, sending it to President Joe Biden's desk hours before the shutdown deadline, which is sometime today at the end of today on Friday. Now, this particular measure, which passed with a 65-27 vote, will keep the government running through March the 11th. And Congress had to approve of a spending plan before the end of the day today on Friday. Now, lawmakers hope to buy enough time to pass legislation that would fund the federal operations through September the 30th. Now, earlier this month, guys, appropriators announced an agreement on a framework for a long-term spending bill. Now, this will still have to negotiate spending details as well as approve legislation before the next shutdown deadline, which is going to come next month on March the 11th. So anyways, guys, hey, we are rest assured that the government will stay open and continue to pay its obligations in the meantime, or at least for the next 3 weeks. Now, some of you have asked me down below in the comment section, why are we so concerned with the government shutting down? Well, I will say, guys, this is very important. We do not want the government to shut down. If the government was to shut down, hey, that could lead to some furloughs from corporations, as well as some federal workers to actually lose their jobs or not be able to work in the meantime, as well as it could lead to some suspensions of certain services. They can also hamper the economy, which right now is not the right time, guys. We are actually trying to help the Ukraine fight off Russia from invading their country. So we definitely don't need a government shutdown to be happening right now. And also, guys, a government shutdown could cause some of the local state parks to actually shut down, which means Americans could not have an opportunity to go to those parks because they would be forbidden during the particular government shutdown. So yes, guys, this is very important to keep the government open, as well as to allow the government to continue to keep paying for its obligations in the meantime. So again, guys, this is definitely some good news that they have potentially passed a smaller term bill that is going to allow the government to stay open just a little while longer, kicking the can down the road, as well as the Democrats are continuing to work on a new stimulus bill that is going to help the American people. In the meantime, I will keep you guys posted as usual on any updates that we receive. And I hope all of this information was helpful to you today. Well, anyways, guys, hey, that's all I have for you today. Now, if you enjoyed this type of content and you want to see more, hey, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And if you like this video, then go ahead and hit that like button for us. It really helps out this channel, as well as it tells YouTube to share this video with others. But anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.